Hey guys, James from Flow Social here. I'm going to tell you today the top 10 mistakes that businesses make when using Instagram. So a lot of businesses, when they first start off, they try and create the perfect looking profile feed. And that means that, they're posting one image over 3 or 4 different grids. They're making sure that it looks nice and pretty throughout the length of it. Now, Instagram has kind of changed slightly, whereas before that was kind of a phase, I guess. A lot of businesses haven't quite caught on to that yet and are still doing that. Whether they're putting borders around their images, whether they're, as I said, doing multiple different essentially grid spaces on Instagram from one image, which is just pointless because you're not going to get any engagement on those images. So why would you post something that you're not going to get any engagement on? The next mistake that businesses make is simply just posting an image and hoping for the best. So because people haven't spent a lot of time either looking at Instagram or understanding it, from like a research point of view, they haven't done any research. So they just post a photo and they just hope that they'll magically get all of the engagement that they're after. Well, the reality is Instagram is a platform, it's a system. Just posting an image isn't going to do anything. You have to make sure that the tags are in place, you have to make sure that you're posting at the right time. And this is super important. Timing is super important for any post that goes out. If your audience aren't online at that time, your content just is not going to get seen. So super important that you go into the insights section and that you check when your key time is for posting. And this is a useful tool that Instagram provides to businesses. Once you're a business account, they provide this to you in the insights section. So why not go ahead and use it? The next thing that businesses are not doing yet is using video content. So video content is really powerful, and the reason being is that Instagram is moving away from the traditional still image, which is what it was when it first launched. It then provided you with carousel images, and now it's providing you with video, and not only through video on the feed, but video through Instagram stories, IGTV. So you've got Instagram Live even, you've got lots of different ways that Instagram is pushing out your content. So as a business, it's super important that you maximize on the video effect of that. Not only that, but Instagram prioritizes that content over native images. Going from there, problem number 4 is not having a descriptive and interesting bio. So when someone first comes onto your profile, if they like your content, like your image, they find your image through the search function of Instagram, and they go onto your profile, what they'll then see is your main page, your main feed, with a description about who you are or what your business is. So it's really important that you make this super clear to people so that they know exactly what you are and what you're selling, or what value you provide to them from the description in your bio. This applies to businesses, entrepreneurs, even just people who are trying to build their own Instagram audience up. Okay, so the next one is really a big one. Number 5 in the 10 series tips is that businesses especially forget that social media is supposed to be social. So what this means is that if you're posting content and you want people to engage with your content, but you're not engaging with others, why is anyone going to engage with your content? You have to make sure that as a business, you are replying to comments, you are direct messaging the right people as and when, make sure it's not spammy, but looking for collaborations, but also think about just commenting on people's own Instagram, comment on people that inspire you, comment on people that are delivering value. Find those people and comment and engage and build a community around your content. So it goes back to the simple idea of posting an image and hoping it's going to work its magic. It's just not going to happen. You have to be social. Next is not having a content strategy. So what I mean by content strategy is having either like a 9-grid layout system, having a system that you follow so people know what to expect from your content. If one day you're putting out a video that is quite personal maybe, and then you're putting out a project or a single object that you're trying to sell, how does that flow? How do people feel the flow and the emotion and the connectivity from that content. You have to make sure that the content you're providing them is within a certain spectrum of content. You can't just go out and put random stuff on your feed and expect people to respond to that. This is especially true as a business. I see a lot of smaller, medium businesses who are, putting photos of their dogs at home, when they should be posting content of what they're making, what they're doing, what they're selling. This is really important to kind of understand the overall flow of your own space, really, your own grid space. Understand what you're trying to get across. So it's really important that you sit down and you work out a solid content strategy, because without that, your Instagram's just going to flop. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so next, again, I kind of touched upon this, but it's using the business solutions that Instagram provides you with. So in the insights section, Instagram provides you with your age range demographic, it provides you with key times that your audience is online, it provides you even with where your audience is located in the world. So it's super important to look at that and think, okay, if I want to target people in the US, what time should I be posting my content so that it hits the US audience? If I'm here in the UK, what time is that going to be? But also, who am I appealing to? Who is my content appealing to? Am I appealing to the 18 to 25 category, or am I appealing to the 35 to 40 category? And same with male, female. It's super important in understanding the language you use in regards to the audience that you have that is accessing your content. Provide content to match the audience. Biggest tip. Following on from that is not using Instagram's features. So what this means is using things like carousel posts. One of the easiest ways to get super high engagement on a post is to use a carousel post, which allows you to have 10 either images or videos back to back. Put a video, put some pictures in there, put another video. Think about how much time people are going to spend on that, right? So it's almost similar to Google in that the more time someone spends on your website, the higher it's going to push the website. Well, the same applies for an Instagram post. The more time someone spends on that Instagram post, reading the caption, scrolling through, watching the videos, the more time someone does that, the higher up the ranking Instagram is going to push you. And that leads on to kind of like my next tip, which is hashtags. So there are so many different theories about hashtags, so many different combinations you can try. Businesses make the mistake of going after the big hashtags. That's the hashtags with the millions and millions and millions of posts on them. The reality is that yes, over time you would like to get there, you would like to get your content seen on that, but ultimately you don't have the authority as a small, medium business, someone with 1,000 followers, to be posting on those big hashtags. Your content's just gonna fly by because you've got so many other people trying to aim for that hashtag. If, for example, you get 5,000 likes on a photo, then I would tell you absolutely go for those big hashtags, because that's where your value is gonna be. But as a small, medium business starting, or as a solo entrepreneur starting, it's really important that you understand kind of your level within the space as a whole. You have to target those smaller hashtags. You have to build up that community first, because otherwise your content is just not going to get seen, and you're going to get 20 likes on a picture, and that just does nothing for your brand. You're not exposing yourself to an audience. So it's super important that you sit down and think about, how are you going to climb the rankings of hashtags? How are you going to get there? Don't just assume that you're going to get there by targeting those big hashtags. Following on from that, we have the kind of last little tip, I guess, last little bit, is not understanding the location tagging element of a photo. So when you tag a location in, and especially now, Instagram has allowed you to follow certain locations. So if I'm a business in Kensington, for example, and I'm just targeting London, well, London has something like 5 million posts on. I'm just not going to get seen. But if I post something on Kensington, or Kensington London, or Chelsea and Kensington, or Kensington and Chelsea, for example, then I stand the chance of getting my content ranked on that because maybe there are 20 to 70,000 posts on that. It also is a really good idea to kind of target that location hard so that you're putting up your content in that same location so people know where you are, right? And this is really important to, especially if you're a local business, if you're a business that sells on the street, it's super important that you nail down that location tagging. And don't just think about the street name, but think about the general area as well, and then you can kind of expand outwards. And finally, my kind of bonus tip, the biggest thing I see brands doing is buying followers. Now, this for me is an absolute no-no. Never, ever, ever buy followers. Now, the reason being is that, one, Instagram knows instantly whether you've done it or not. And what that means is that you might have 40,000 followers, but you might only get 100 likes on a post. Again, Instagram sees this and goes, what the fuck? What's going on? Why is this content not doing well when it has so many followers? And it penalizes you for that. So it almost de-ranks you. It kind of like shadow bans you. And as a business, everyone wants to get that swipe up link. And the swipe up link is super important. Don't get me wrong. You know, if you're producing valuable content, valuable Instagram stories, and you're providing value on those, the swipe up link is great because you can do 5 or 6 Instagram stories, and then the next story you can send people to a product or a download or whatever it is you want to send them to. But so 10K really is that magic number. But as a business, if you have 400 followers and you pay for those extra 9,600 followers, it just massively affects your ranking. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you how much it affects your ranking. And that then is going to be a constant battle to, one, get your content engaged with, but also to increase the growth rate of your profile. You're just going to stagnate, and you're going to spend a long time stagnating. So if you're a business that's purchased followers, I highly recommend that you go through your followers list and you block every single person on there that is not providing value or that looks like a spammy account. And you can see this by, the name, loads of numbers, etc. You can see this by the amount of followers they have compared to the people they're following. These are really important tips to make sure that your Instagram profile continues to grow and doesn't stagnate. And as a business, that's super important. So if you liked this video, hit the like button for me. Make sure you kind of leave a comment as well. Really appreciate it. This is my first video. Let me know what you think about these tips and whether or not you think they provide you as a business with value.